Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin Trade. Um, in this episode, it's going to be a chart analysis and how news affects charts, or whether a news is that impactful on a chart analysis, or how much a news affects the price of a Bitcoin or something like that. So this is kind of one of these trading by news episode, and it's very common. Some people trade it with stocks or commodities, or what's currencies as well, based on news, right? So, well, why wouldn't Bitcoin be any different? So in this episode of news, it's just one of those interesting ways of playing Bitcoin. And also, what makes it even more interesting is that if you trade in Bitcoin, use Bitcoin in any way, shape, or you work for a company that uses Bitcoin, you're all related to this somehow. All right, there's a connection between you and this story, somehow in some way. Okay, so I'll go over the news and I'll look at a chart and see if it makes any difference. Okay, so hold on here. All right, so here's some news. All right, so here's some major news. There it is. Okay, so hacker hijacks Satoshi Nakamoto's email, threatens to reveal all. So there is the author and the date, and you can't. It's one of those and other stories you just can't make up. And it's just weird. And in my previous episode, I did mention how a hacker approached me, and I asked if they can find the creator. Well, I wonder if this is them. Anyways, there's a headline. I've read a few sources. Let me see, the other sources, I think, is it this one right here? Yes, here's the other one from Crypto Coin News, and there it is, the headline. Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto has email account hacked. There's the author and there's the date. And both articles mention, let me see, where is it? Where is this quote? Okay, there's the quote. It both mentions this quote. The quote says, "Dear Satoshi, your docs," I don't even know what that is, "password and IP address are being sold on the dark net. Apparently you didn't configure Tor properly and your IP leaked when you used your email account sometime in 2010. You are not safe. You need to get out of where you are as soon as possible before these people harm you. Thank you for inventing Bitcoin." And so there you go. And it sounds like a direct threat to Satoshi Nakamoto. So I wonder if it's just one person or a group of people, but it makes it sound like it's directed at, the threat is directed at a person. Seems like it anyway. And I don't know if this is a credible threat or just a play threat, but I don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. It would be awesome if they revealed that, because I'd really like to know. Anyways, so they both have that threat in there, and then let me see, where's another source? Another source is this one, and this goes in a little bit more something different and everything, different story. Anyways, it's one of the things I like about trading Bitcoin that you can't get out of like a Forex or a stock. Well, not really a stock. There's been some big scandals with stocks and everything, but the thing about those kind of scandals, they kind of ruin the value. And the story is just not as compelling. And one of the things that I like about trading Bitcoin is that there's a story behind trading a Bitcoin, and there's this whole, I guess you could say, fantasy or virtual reality experience, or fantasy experience that's virtual. There's something to it, and one of the things is, like, if you think about it this way, people pay to go to a theme park. All right, people pay to go on a boat ride, go on a ship or something. People pay to go to concerts, for the most part, to be entertained, right? In some way, experience. Well, to some degree, trading Bitcoin has a real life drama or a story to it that you're somehow connected to it. And so, when you hear stories like this, it's almost like it's too unbelievable to think this is really happening. You're not even sure if this is real anymore. What's fake? What's real? What's really going on? And you start asking, is this real? And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, is this real? Can it get any more bizarre? I don't know. Anyways, I'm just showing it because it'd be cool to know who it is. So, anyways, I don't know. I have no idea. It's suspenseful for me to even just keep up with this story. So, and then I guess my other thing is, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is, I don't know where you are, but if this threat is real, and I mean, you might want to consider taking it for real. You might want to, I don't know where you are, but if you're in America, I'd go get a gun and have it with you at all times. I mean, that's just my, it's kind of weird for me to say that to someone, but considering there's been a threat to your life, and you if you were here where I am, I don't know if you can, but if you can make it out to Houston, I think you might have a good chance of surviving. I don't know where you are, but if you're in California, Chicago, Atlanta, if you're in those areas, try to get your way into Houston. And if you get to Houston, I think you're going to be safe. But you might want to, have a weapon just in case you get attacked. and protect your life. So, I mean, that's my message to Satoshi Nakamoto, if whoever they are. I don't know. Anyways, interesting story. I mean, you cannot believe this, but how does this affect the price? How does that factor into like a chart analysis now? Um, I've seen some weird price movements. China's threat to ban, other places banning it, and how it affects the price, usually in a negative way. And then you hear some other news which pushes the price upwards. I've noticed recently not so much anymore. Now you think something like this would be like would drive the markets crazy. Well, let's take a look at some chart analysis and see what happens, because sometimes a chart analysis or reaction from especially with Bitcoin is almost like a consensus, I guess, of how this news really affects people using Bitcoin. So let's take a quick look at a chart analysis now. So, all right, so here it is, and I mean, for the most part, I woke up this morning and it was already headed down. I don't know when this story came out, but it must have come out after this morning or in the afternoon, because I always check the news and read the stories, because, well, that's all I do. So the only thing I could, and by then it was going up a little bit, but now it's going down, and I don't see anything that would tell me that this news has done any regarding, price action. And so what does this mean? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mean a damn thing anymore, because it's this whole thing is bigger than what it was. So anyways, so when I look at the price, all I see is just following below this particular 10 period estimated moving average. So that's all it's doing. It's falling below that, and now it's this top portion is the resistance here, and it's going underneath. So it's very similar to something like this here that you see, and this here over here that you see, and this one as well. So in this case, it's not much of an effect, and I'm thinking maybe it's bigger than what it originally was. It's become bigger. So, and also, if you look at the price here, let's take a look here. Bitstamp, BitC now is higher than the Chinese, and I think the Chinese are just waking up, because that was actually higher than that. While these were all in the 60s, this was in the 70s. So I think they're waking up right now and probably performing some arbitrage. So now they're getting down the same range, but still the fact that BitC is higher than both of these, that kind of does mean prices going down typically, but and they kind of have in the short term, but they've kind of short term also bounced back. So we'll see what happens. As far as I'm concerned, it is still going down, which means cheaper to buy for me. But a couple ways I've been averaging it or playing, this is my strategy, is I've been taking small positions down from where it is. So when I get a drive down, I'm still buying something, but I'm averaging that cost going down. So it's a good way to play maybe one of these, how it goes down and then it pops back up, similar to like how this is a little bit more drastic, but it pops up, goes down, pops up, goes down, and pops up. and then you see it drag down a little bit, and then you see it pop up like this. Getting one of these is kind of nice because you'll see it's not much, but you do make a gain if you just average your cost down, and then it goes back up. And you see where it starts is, for example, this is all short term, but if you see that, and I'll just put the crosshairs right here. Okay, so for example, if you notice, if you saw this, I would put my buy orders below this price, around this price, and if it did break down, it would hit all my orders, but I would average it so it's not I'm not taking all my losses up here, I'm taking somewhere in the middle, like right here, and then I would wait for it and then have it pop, and all these up here may have not made money, but all the orders that I bought down here made money, and between that I made a gain. So that's a way to play a downtrend, to make a gain. If you're trying to make a gain in US dollars, the way to play it for Bitcoin, okay, is you have to what they call short Bitcoin, or going long the dollar, where you would play this a little differently, where you would try to sell when it hits up here, hoping that it actually goes down because you can buy more, and then do several things. You can trade peer-to-peer, you can actually hold on and let the exchange do all the work for you, and then you can sell, and then just keep doing that again and again. So there's that option, and the whole point is you sell what you bought in for, but you actually get to keep some Bitcoins. So if I bought some at a lower price, it goes, and I bought it, let's say 100, and it goes up, and I can get my $100 back, and that extra amount that I've gained, that's actually like a gained Bitcoin. It almost become like a mined Bitcoin in some ways. I got it from somewhere. Typically it's from someone else, but you know, the thing about Bitcoins is that you can reuse them and put them back into circulation. And so anyways, these are all different strategies you can use. For me, I try to actually gain more Bitcoins, and that way I'm just getting my money back, but I got extra Bitcoins. And so I'm hoping that the price goes up, and those free extra Bitcoins that I got, well, they've gone up in value. And here's the weird part, as far as trading is concerned, you actually bought them. So it's almost weird in this way, is that you can gain an almost free Bitcoin, but on paper, right, you actually bought them, and so you get to take that cost and add it to it. So I guess my point is, how can I say this? You didn't really get a free Bitcoin, although that's what really happened. But you have to show that where did it come from, right? So you have to say you bought it, is my point, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if I'm confusing some people, but anyways, I'll continue on here. I don't see anything out of the normal, is what I'm trying to get at here. Nothing drastic like the spike down or anything like that, and I see it through all the exchanges. Now this is, I'm sorry, this is Bitfin, okay, and let's come out and I'll show. Okay, there's the mouse, and I'm going to show Bitstamp, okay. I can get it to go on Bitstamp, and now it's not responding. Great. All right, Bitstamp. So let's see how the story affects the price, or price action, or price movement. And so far, what I've seen, it hasn't done much on most of the exchanges. But then again, oh, okay. There you go, unable to access network. It's one of those days. Okay, there we go. Alright, so again, when I look at the price, it's just following the trend for the most part. And that's Bitstamp. Okay, Bitstamp right there. And let's do Bitsy now. Let's see what weird things are going on at Bitsy. And you know, when you compare it to this long line right here, it really makes this move really small, doesn't it? That's a part of the deception with charts and graphs and everything. Like if you look at this, all these moves look pretty small, but that's because this move was freaking unusually huge. But anyways, that's probably why, you know, if you look at this chart it feels like it looks really different than the other charts, and it is, but it's actually the same chart. Or if this wasn't here, this was shortened, it would look like proportional anyway. Anyways, never mind. I got off track here. My point is, it hasn't done much in comparison for news. And let's even go to the Chinese exchange now here. That's on Bitcoin Wisdom. Oh, sorry. And same thing here. Not much. It's just following that trend going down. So I don't know, nothing big as far as the news concerned. So I don't know if this article, if I can find it right here, if this article is going to make a difference, because, you know, it gets so sensational sometimes that after a while, I have to admit, it may not even matter if everyone found out who Satoshi Nakamoto really is, because for me it's actually become bigger than what it was. And so I'm actually curious to find out. I would really, really like to know who is Satoshi Nakamoto. I really would. I don't know. If it could be a scam, you know, that's the other thing about this whole thing. Is like this could also be a big scam too. And then you know, you get people to send in bitcoins because they want to know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, and maybe it turns out you don't get anything. It was nothing more than a scam. It was a scam within a scam within a scam. And so, you know, this is all part of virtual reality. Is you got to figure out what's real and what's fake. Is this another scam? It's a scam. To scam. A scam. I don't know. It just seems, you know, you just can't make this up. Truth is stranger than fiction. All that good stuff. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I did a different kind of chart analysis. I use the chart to gauge the reaction of news. is what I did. I kind of, instead of having the news affect the chart, I looked at the chart to gauge the reactions of others regarding this particular news. And so far what I've seen is it hasn't moved yet. And you figure this has been out for some time now. News like this usually just goes. You know, when you hear when it comes to stocks, forex, or commodities, certain news just kind of hits and moves the price. But this really didn't move that much, so I don't think this is going to make a difference. But I am curious to know who it is. So who knows? It could be a scam for another scam for another scam. This is kind of like the world that you live in when you get into Bitcoin. It's just, it gets pretty scammy out there. It's so weird. It's so strange in that way. You don't even know what to believe anymore. You don't even know what's real. So that's the whole thing about trading with Bitcoin. It's you get that immersed reality, and you don't even know what's real anymore. So anyways, I'm probably going to get to the end of this episode here. So feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, even do a video response. Until next time, stay tuned.